remind people?
Right, so Lumos, for those who don't know,
Right.
is a spell I created in the Harry Potter books. It's a light-bringing spell, but there's also the image of bringing light in darkness. So obviously we are looking to help these children and greatly improve their lives.
And I know
80% of the 8 million children living in institutions globally have either a living parent who would like to care for them or immediate family. Ran out of options. So the single largest driver into institutions is poverty. So if you're literally faced with a situation where you're being told, well, your child can starve, or we'll put it in the institution and it will be fed, what are you going to choose? You want your child. The evidence is that we can give better care within the family. I'll write for children again because I love writing for kids, so that will definitely happen, and that will sit comfortably alongside this work, and maybe I'll get to read that new work to some of these children, you know. Haven't, but even as I answer that, I know that someone's cutting this on YouTube to make it look as though I gave you hope.
Not a plan. I think the 6 years is a result of it doesn't matter to me if I make a CD now. I mean, I don't have to make a CD, and I don't have to travel and sing. As it turns out, I still enjoy it, and we decided to find a group of songs that I really liked, and that my musicians, who are a big part of this, the drummer is a big part of this, George Devori, he's 31 years old, and his bass player is his friend, and they traveled with me, and they gave me a real freshness, you know, and some songs felt like a new life to the song. So they were a key. I said, oh, let's take them in the studio, because I know no matter what we have with us, something will grow out of it. And then the guitar player, Duke FiNe, I didn't know him.
I think he did in England. It was very strange because when we got the mail asking us to record a version of Half the World Away for this commercial, I didn't really know what it was. I haven't heard about John Lewis before, and I think it's mostly in England, isn't it?
Sure.
So, and after we did it, we got like, it was much bigger than I thought. It was very strange, but I think it has helped me a lot in England, especially.
Coming out of England?
Yeah. It's kind of like I feel like I'm declaring war on all the Oasis fans in England. So it was a bit scary because I know that, especially in England, they are really like hardcore fans of Oasis. But I didn't really do it, you know. But I had to do it because they wanted that song, and I wanted to make the clients happy. And I also thought that the song went really well with the video as well. So, you know, and that's the most important thing.
To the university, so I go back to Manchester in the autumn term. I teach first years, and that was a decision. I'd kind of avoided students for my whole career.
That's a very good. You know, I've tried to do that my whole life.
but then after the TV shows, I wanted to start thinking again. So I teach the first year, quantum mechanics and relativity. And it's funny because, you know, you think, like you said, you know, I'm on television, I get recognised a lot, and so there's a moment for about a minute when you walk into the lecture theatre and they're there, and it's that bloke on telly. But then the moment you start writing, someone says, bigger writing, speak up a bit. I don't understand, and they forget within a minute because they've got to do an exam. So the question is, what do we know about the origin of life on Earth? What do we know about how it went from the simple to the complex over 3.8 billion years? So they can pull you under, they can drown you, those things. So they were saying, so I just trusted them and held it, and indeed it just sat there. But then I had to put it back over the boats, and the moment you put it in the water, the thing goes like that.
String theory is an attempt to make sense about all the phenomena we see in nature in terms of one unified field theory. So 20th century physics basically understood reality, or as much as we know of reality, in terms of two big theories. It unites the quantum mechanics that describes the atoms and molecules with general relativity, which describes stars, planets, and galaxies. And of course we have to unite them somehow, because the stars, galaxies, and the planets are ultimately made out of atoms. So it wouldn't make sense to have one theory that only works for atoms, while another theory entirely would be used for stars and galaxies. They're all made out of the same stuff, so they have to be described by the same theory. Astronomers see in the universe that if you look at a galaxy, it seems to be surrounded by a cloud of invisible matter that we don't know what it is. We just call it dark matter because we don't see it. So supersymmetry makes a fascinating implication. that one of these supersymmetric particles that we hope to discover in accelerators has just about the right properties.
The name Gregory and the Hawk comes from me making up a name. I'd been playing by myself for a while, and I was playing shows more regularly about 10 years ago or something, and just kind of got this feeling like I didn't want to be known by my name, Meredith Goodrow. So I just made it up. Greg is my brother's name, and the Hawk is just sounded good to me. It's hard to pinpoint, but I like to analyze why I think about certain things the way I do, and kind of hypothesize about how other people analyze situations that they're going through. So I think my songs kind of come from me, like, working that out in my head.